Hi, I'm in a mood today. A mood. Okay, so last night I went to Michael's because I was on a mission to find something. I was in the mood to paint on wood again, specifically this kind of wood. They're like tree slices. So yeah, I'm super excited because I have a lot of different types of this stuff. We have basswood country round from Walnut Hollow. And then we have some birch rounds. Not quite like drawing 100 eyes, but look, I have tree slice eyes. I'm really excited to do some Posca pen painting on these because Posca pens on wood is a very special experience. I just love the combination of both of those together. So in light of being in a goofy mood, I think we should draw some goofy things and just have fun with this. I hope it inspires you. Let's go. So I already opened one of these pieces of country basswood, and we're gonna start with that. This stuff is so smooth, like I don't even need to sand it. Awesome. Let me just maneuver these elsewhere. Also, I'm not gross or anything. This is just pieces of tree falling off. Now, as I said, I'm in a goofy mood. Let's reflect that with a fun, perky, goofy looking animal. I've already been to the zoo this year, so I think I want to draw a giraffe. This leads me to the question of the day. What is your favorite animal? Let me know down below. I like the scary animals that people normally wouldn't go near, like alligators and jellyfish. Super interesting. Wow, this is, I wasn't intending for the giraffe head to be this big, but you know what? It's kind of fitting the vibe here, so we're just gonna stick with it, you know? Okay, I need to decide if I want the neck to be like this or if I want to make it like go to one of the sides. Ooh, you know what? I'm forgetting the ears. Hold it. There we go. Okay, giraffe is here, living its best life. Let's start with the Posca pen stuff. It's gonna be so fun. So part of the reason I wanted to draw a giraffe was because a couple years ago, more than a couple years ago now actually, when I first started my YouTube channel, I drew a giraffe. It was just with like a marker or a ballpoint pen. Very simple, but it was one of my very first videos back when I was too shy to show my face or talk or anything, and I was just hiding out in my bedroom. My family didn't even know I did YouTube yet, and I drew a giraffe. So this video kind of feels special to me because I'm kind of reliving an older moment, and I get to share that with you. You can do some deep digging to find it, but you're gonna have to dig embarrassingly deep to find the old video, if it's still public. So before we continue drawing on all of this wood, I want to give a huge thank you to today's sponsor, Skillshare. I absolutely love Skillshare. You've probably heard me talk about it for years, and that's because I've been using it for years. Skillshare is an online learning community where there are thousands of classes that you can choose from. They always add new ones. There are never ads, none. Now, because you're watching this video, I would assume that you would be more interested in illustration classes, maybe watercolor, acrylic painting. But you know, if you're a small business, you might enjoy classes for small businesses, like how to set up an Etsy shop. Or maybe you want to take a cooking class. You can do it all on Skillshare. There are so many topics to choose from. In fact, a class that I am currently taking is how to film solo without the FOMO, filmmaking tricks for the One Person Crew by Dandin Liu. I love learning new videography tricks. I think a really fun part of YouTube is the filming element. So I love taking Skillshare's film classes. They're so helpful and they inspire me to keep trying to improve. Skillshare is also super affordable. An annual subscription is less than $10 a month. So Skillshare and I are teaming up to provide you with a summer filled with creativity. And that means the first 1,000 subscribers to click that link in my video description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare Premium. So that means you can take all the classes you want, maybe dabble into a new hobby, or learn some stuff that's always been on your bucket list. If you are somebody who watches lots of art videos on YouTube, I am confident you will love Skillshare because Chloe Rose Art has classes, Kendall Hilgis has classes, and so does Jazza. That's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more, so just saying, check it out. Don't forget to click that link below for your 1-month free trial, and thank you Skillshare for sponsoring this. Let's get back to the video. So at this part here, I am mixing 2 colors to get the base coat for the giraffe before I go in and I add all the spots, the fun details, you know, the stuff that we really like. So I used a peachy color and some white to do that. Now, what I really, really love about using Posca pen on wood is, first of all, it's super forgiving. So if you make a mistake, you can layer over it again and again, and it will be fine because the paper is wood, which means it won't like pill up or anything. Like, it can handle it. And I also love using wood because, like, okay, this stuff is super smooth and it does not tear up my marker. And I just love it so much. I also love using Posca pens on Starbucks cups, and you guys already know that. You've seen it again and again on my channel, but the Starbucks cups, something about the coating on them just holds up really well. So those are probably my 2 favorite surfaces to use Poscas on. But Bristol paper and watercolor paper also work really well. I thought it was also fun to make these colors just really bright and happy to express summertime and just to make the giraffe seem more approachable, because when I was a kid, the giraffes that I always saw living in Ohio were honestly the Toys R Us ads. And they always looked, you know, so happy, and I always wanted to see them in real life. And I don't think I ever actually saw one in real life until I was like a teenager when I went to a zoo. But yeah, I just associate giraffes with like such a happy mood because of that Toys R Us giraffe. And every time I went to Toys R Us as a kid, I got a stuffed animal. That was like all I was interested in, really. Just all the stuffed animals. Question of the day. What was your favorite kind of toy as a kid? As I said, mine was definitely stuffed animals, but I also loved Legos. And I loved my cousin's dinosaur toys. Like, we played with those so much, like the Godzilla figurines and just dinosaurs. Yeah. And dolls, you know. I played with dolls too. Probably longer than I should care to admit, but yeah. Those were my favorite childhood toys. I'm curious what your guys's are, so feel free to drop a comment below and share some of your childhood nostalgia with me. So at this point here, I really knew that I wanted some contrast to be at the bottom because, as I said, I'm shooting for a lot of color here. But if I go for only light colors, it's going to be hard for the giraffe to stand out. And I feel like the dark green helped convey like a convincing habitat for giraffes. And then I decided to do some leaves in the foreground. Like, yum. He's just gonna lean over and munch a leaf, you know? I also decided to add some really fun colors to, I don't know, make this seem more interesting. So around the leaves, I did like red and purple, and it just seemed more dimensional or something afterward, rather than just doing a full area of solid dark green, because I was just kind of bored of that. And I'm really happy that I added all those other fun colors. We finished the first piece. Here's how it turned out. I just added some little reflections on the eyes at the end, and I feel like that brought it to life. So now that the first piece is done, let's take this smaller piece of birch wood. It's a lot thicker than the last piece of wood that we used. I need some scissors.
Got my scissors.
Let's begin. Oh, by the way, this piece of wood here has kind of turned into my mixing palette because the plastic wrap is still on it. So it's not like on the piece of wood itself, but it kind of looks cool for a palette. Okay, so I have a fun idea for this one. So let's see what happens. Okay, this one hopefully makes all of us hungry. So after this video, we'll go eat junk food. Just kidding, but like I probably will. All right, honestly, this background was so satisfying to color in, and I love that color. So I decided we're gonna have a solid background for this piece, as opposed to the last piece when we had all that detail going on. So this piece here, I think I'm shooting for something more simple. You know, this is a food item. We want it to look good. We want the food to get the attention. And yeah, I don't think we need a ton of detail elsewhere. So let's see what we can do. I have been really hooked on strawberry rhubarb pie and strawberry jello cake for the last couple months. Those have been probably some of my favorite desserts. So I decided to kind of do like a layered strawberry cake and just kind of see how it goes. I don't know, I was just kind of making stuff up and having fun. So once I got to this point, it really felt like I needed to do a better job at conveying that this is a summer delight. We eat this in the summertime. So as I was coloring in this plate, I contemplated what I wanted to do for the tablecloth. And my gut was really telling me to use the color wheel and do some complementary colors for that tablecloth. So you know how earlier I said, let's do a simple background, and I went with that minty color. Now we're doing an orangish color to complement it. And I'm really happy with that decision. Now, because the background is solid, I decided we needed to add a little bit of, I don't know, pizzazz or something to the foreground. So I did this fun, like, gold and pink and orange plaid gingham sort of pattern. I felt like it definitely made things feel more summery and just happy in general. another question of the day. What is your current favorite dessert? Okay, we finished the painting. I really enjoyed this one because it was more simplistic and it kind of feels like pop art. Plus, it's the summer now, and who doesn't want a piece of strawberry cake? So yeah, I figured this week I would take a break from drawing or painting water or flowers and just do some other stuff. So yeah, it was fun doing this giraffe. I think this one is my favorite of the two. And this one was more like relaxing. It didn't feel like it was super stressful or hard or anything. Let me know which one is your favorite down below. And if you made it this far, comment the word spots down below. And I'll try to reply to you with either a star emoji or, is there a giraffe emoji? If there's a giraffe emoji, I might do that, you know, like, because you're commenting spots for like giraffe spots. Yeah, that'd be a fun game. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And if there are a lot of comments, then you guys beat me and defeat me. And yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day. And I will see you next time. Bye. It's kind of awkward waving with your painting in your hand.